Asking me who I want to win this match is like asking me, Bromo, gay son or thought daughter. It's an impossible question for me to answer because each passing day, I'm seeing new Ian Garry clips that make me just want to... I want to rip my own face off. I want to rip my own face off. He did an interview with High Performance, and oh my god, it's so insufferable. We have multiple clips. We have a comment from his supposed brother, which we'll read, exposing Garry for being a terrible, terrible family member and basically lying about his upbringing in this episode. We've got a lot to go through. Now, a lot of this interview was just Garry being cringe, like, I'm manifesting this. I'm going to beat Islam and I'm going to do this. And I don't want to go over every single little thing that he says that's cringe because we'll be here literally for 3 hours. There's just a few key moments that I want to focus on. There's 3 things I want to focus on in this interview. It's what he says about women ruling the world, what he says about being a real man, and what he says about Neil Magny, because he doubles down on the Neil Magny drama. And then we're going to read his brother's comment. And this just makes me just... It's so hard to root for Garry, man. Like, I think he's going to win, genuinely. But this is... It's going to be a hate watch for both ways. It's such a weird one. Like, I don't really like Islam because of how he's been dealing with his welterweight reign. You know, calling out Kamaru Usman. You know, ducking Ilia Topuria, fighting once a year. You know, very being inactive and shit. You know, it's like, come on, Islam, let's get a move on. But Ian Garry's like, he's just so insufferable. It's like, shut the fuck up, Garry. Just shut up. But we're going to get straight into it, guys. With the first clip. You've all seen this one. We're going to let it play through. I'm going to give my thoughts on the matter.
Should look at his wife and know that that's the person I need to listen to. Like, if the world was run by women, we'd all live in a better world. Like, it would all be simpler and easier. That's the fact of the matter, whether you want to agree with it or not, or you think whatever it is, if women ruled the world and we just listened to them and let them take over, it would be an easier world.
It would literally, right? The whole world would crumble within a month. Like, and that's not even me being like sexist. Like, bro, oh my god, bro, but you're being so sexist, bro. If women controlled the entire world and everything that went on, plumbing and waste management, right? That would be non-existent. The infrastructure that keeps society, like the electricity or the oil rigs, right? All that shit would just collapse because women don't do those jobs because they physically can't do them, and that's just that's just biology. They actually physically can't do them. Their bodies aren't equipped to do that shit. And also, they don't want to do it because it's dirty, hard work. And that's just like a fact. If you look at these sorts of jobs that keep society running, it's predominantly men doing it. And I don't think it's a crazy take to say that if women took over and just controlled everything and just ruled the world, guys, it wouldn't be a paradise. It'd be in shambles. And that, you know, that's just the fact of the matter. And you can disagree with me, call me sexist. I don't care, bro. Like, it's just how it is. Now, women are great at, you know, what they excel in, for sure. A man can't do a woman's job. I want to point that out. A man cannot do a woman's job as good as a woman can do her job. All right, so, you know, like healthcare and like, you know, being like the nurturing parent, like those sorts of things, like that women thrive in. Men are not as good as women at those jobs, and it's the same in reverse. That's why we have certain roles in society. But Ian Garry being like, they're just interchangeable widgets, guys, and we should just swap everything around and it would be fine and dandy. No, Garry. No. It would, like, look, things aren't fine and dandy now. I'm not saying that, but this claim from Ian, if women just ruled the world, it'd be a much better place. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. So you can act like we're all interchangeable widgets and we could all just swap jobs. No, it wouldn't work. Same in reverse. Men can't do like women's jobs as well as women can. It works the same way around. So it's not just like women are rubbish sort of stance. It's just like acknowledging that different sexes do better in different job roles, you know? It is what it is. But yeah, Ian Garry, man. Just like proper shilling out for the women. He's such a pick-me. He's a pick-me guy. He reminds me of that Logan Paul clip, you know. Guys, I hate to be a woke asshole, but women have it hard, dude. They got it fucking hard, man. That's Ian Garry. Like, Ian Garry's like, when I meet the people that invented period cramps. You know, he's that sort of guy. He's a fucking simp, man. But we're going to get into some more shit, because he goes on about other stuff. And look, I don't want to get too political here, but since he brought it up, and if you want to get some more in-depth political views and things like that, we have a Discord server and we have a political channel in there. We always yap about politics in there. It's a good fun, so you come and join. It's a good laugh. But anyway, let's get into some more clips, guys, because it gets worse than this. Right, so this is where Ian Garry talks about being a real man. What makes a real man? And I agree with him on some of it, but the rest of it, I'm just like, dude, just come on. Stop being a little weirdo, man. Stop being a weirdo. Like, this first thing, I agree with him on 100%. Just going to put that out there. Let's listen to what he says here.
To what we get told a modern man has to look like. With this rise of the manosphere in this conversation about being powerful.
Also, why is he sat like that? He's going to tell us what a real man is like. Look how he's sat, bro. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Lose yourself on people.
You know what a real man
show
is?
Emotion. What is a real man?
A real man is a father.
Agree.
Is a husband.
Agree.
Is there for his wife and his kids.
Agree.
Even if they're not together. Is
Agree.
still there. Still shows up. A real man is someone who does the right thing even if he doesn't want to.
Agreed.
A real man is sticking to your word. And I feel like nowadays, people's word means nothing.
100% agree with everything he's just said in that statement. Nothing, I disagree with nothing that he's just said. Okay? Everything's fine there, alright? A real man is a father and a husband that turns up, that does things that they don't want to do, right? But they know that they need to do it, like for their family. Like, you know, if you don't like your job, but like, you know, you have to do it to provide, that sort of thing. But this is where it gets a little bit gay. I'm gonna be real. Listen to this fucking bit. This guy, I can't stand him.
I think men think they need to be strong and masculine is because it's a warped idea of what masculinity needs to be.
No, I'm sick of this whole propaganda, right, that's been pushed, that like gets pushed in society now. It's like men need to be more weak and you need to not try and be strong. Like, no. And then it's the opposite, like women need to be strong and independent. Men need to be weak and submissive. No! Why are they trying to switch everything around? Like, no. No! That's why the birth rate's down. That's why there's more mental health problems now than there ever has been. Because all this shit gets pushed, man. I'm sick of it. And Gary's like, you know, men are told that they need to be strong and, you know, they need to be the man. And it's like, yes, Gary, they do. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't be in your feelings and you can't, like, express how you feel. It just means you've got to put on a brave face. Like, example, right? Personal story here, right? Me and Mrs. Bromer, right, lost our first child, okay? We lost the first child. It was awful times. She was in bits. I was fucking devastated. But what I wasn't going to do is sit in front of her and break down and cry, because then it's like it's my job to make sure that she's okay. I can't expect her, right, to be picking me up when like when she's a wreck. So it was my job to be strong and put on a brave face and be like, you know what, Jazz, we're gonna make it through this shit, all right? And when I spoke to my brother and I met up with him, I cried to him, all right? Because I'm not gonna let my fiance see me, right, breaking down and crying while she's doing the same thing. It helps no one. And that's why I got Oscar. Oscar's like, he was my saving grace. All right, he was my saving grace. He really helped me. Because I was helping Jazz, and I didn't expect her to be able to, like, help me in the same way. So we got a dog, and that was my escape, right? But it's important to be a strong figure in the house, man. None of this weak pussy shit. Like, you could just fucking cry all the time and like don't be strong and don't have a strong mindset. I hate this fucking message that gets pushed. I know Ian Garry, the soy vegan cook, is trying to tell us, you don't need to be a strong man. No, Garry, you do need to be a strong man. Stop being a little simp.
And people think, oh, if I express my feelings, my emotions, that's what females are like. Now, I don't know the stats on this unless it's going to go somewhere where I don't know the details on it. But I know for a fact more men killed themselves than women.
Correct. Yeah. It's the biggest killer for men of our age.
So, why?
I'll tell you why in a minute, and it's not what you think.
Because I don't feel like I can talk to you about the things I need to talk to you about.
No.
Because I'm not a real man.
Yeah.
So this is a harsh truth that people might not want to hear. And this is just how it is. This is the reality of the world, guys. And we're getting deep in this video because Ian Garry is getting deep. And I'm not talking about in the corner of the room. Okay? Women try to do it more than men. Like, I believe 2 or 3 times more. Women try to unalive themselves more than men do. Men are more successful at unaliving themselves, and we have more unalive men, right? Because men actually, it's going to sound really dodgy the way I say this, right? But they do it properly. That's a really fucked up way of wording it, right? But what I mean is they use more lethal ways of doing it. That's why there's more men that unalive themselves, right? Isn't it we try it more? Isn't it men are more prone to unaliving themselves, like having those thoughts than women? Women have it like 3 times. You can look at the research, like 2 or 3 times more than men do. They try it more often, but they're not as successful in doing it because they often try and like overdose or things like this. Whereas men just, they'll jump in front of a train, or they'll jump off a building, or they'll shoot themselves. That's why there's a higher mortality rate for men. It's because, right? It's because they use more effective means of doing it. That's why. And I'm not trying to downplay it. It's a massive problem for men and women, obviously. But this whole narrative of it's because we can't talk and that's why it's more. That's really not it. It's just because like men just fucking go for it, like with really brutal ways of doing it. And you can look at the research; it shows this. So, still, it's a massive problem. It's nothing to do with like, it's because we feel like we can't open up. And, maybe some men it is, but if we're really looking at the stats properly, it's just because men use like more brutal means of doing it. But yeah, that's just how it is, guys. I mean, you can not like it if you want, but that's just what the stats say. We're going to move on. So this, now, he's still talking about being a man, and I think this is where he talks about Disney films. Because, why not? Why not talk about Disney films, guys? Fucking hell. Crazy. Listen to this.
There is an element of toxic masculinity where I need to be strong. I need to be the man of the house.
I hate this toxic masculinity. It's such a feminist like talking point. Toxic masculinity, it's not a real thing, guys. Toxic masculinity is just a way for people to just say, I don't like you being too masculine. Can you please soften up, please? No, there's masculine men that are just pieces of shit. That's not toxic masculinity. That's just them being pieces of shit. Like, people look at Andrew Tate and they go, toxic masculinity. No, he's just a criminal. Like, he's just not a really good person. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being strong. There's nothing wrong with being like a strong man. Like, if we're being like, there's nothing wrong with it, Ian. I don't know why you're trying to play it down like, you're taught to be big and strong. Like, oh no, what a terrible thing to be taught. Like, if my dad, he's a piece of shit, to be honest, so maybe it's not a good example, right? But if I told my son, listen, Alfie, don't try and be a strong man. Just be a fucking little wuss that just like goes through life feeling sorry for himself and this and that. I know I'm going to say, right, listen, kid, pull up your bootstraps, Michael Chandler style. And just like, let's fuck. But I'll teach him, like, obviously, it's important to open up and talk. about your feelings. I'm not advocating for people not to, but this whole thing of like men don't need to be strong and things like this, it's like yes they do. You know, we're supposed to be leaders. Like we're supposed to make the household feel safe. Like if I was a weak man, right, I would like Jazz would not feel safe in the house with me if like a criminal broke in, right? But it's my job as the man of the house. If a criminal breaks in, I'm going down to deal with that shit. I'm not gonna be like, listen, Jazz, we're equal, equal opportunities. You gotta go and take out the criminal. Like, no, it's not how fucking the world works. I mean, people could say like, masculine is not about being strong. It's about being open, and it's about being weak sometimes. And it's like, all right, that sounds nice. All right, that sounds nice, but where's that gonna get us if a fucking criminal comes in with a fucking like with a weapon, and I'm just cowering in the corner like a little bitch? How's that gonna help anything? You need to be strong, but also emotionally intelligent, guys. That's the important thing here.
I cry watching Disney films.
Why is he saying it like it's a flex? Why is he flexing it? Look at that screenshot. Why is he trying to flex that? I've cried at films too, Ian. So what? He's like trying to like, oh my god, he's trying to like, guys, I cry at Disney films. How masculine am I? Like, no. Oh, come on, Ian. It's not the fact that he's cried about. It isn't the fact that he's cried at Disney films. That's not the problem. Like, we've all cried at films, I'm sure. If you haven't, you're probably lying, or bravo, you know. But he's using it as a way to flex how manly he is, because he's cried at Disney films. Like, come on, Ian. Like, as if people didn't think you were a fucking soy boy little simp before. Now you're on about, oh, you know, I fucking cry at Disney films, bro. No! You can't cry at Disney films, brother. I mean, you can, but like, to use it as a point of masculinity is just crazy. It's crazy.
The man of the house. I cry watching Disney films. I am so in touch with my feminine side that I feel like I'm more masculine because of it.
Listen, guys. I've sucked so many. Well, I haven't done this. Well, this is like it's like I've sucked so many cocks, dude, and swallowed so much semen that I've ingested so much testosterone through that semen. I feel like more of a man. How is that? I'm so in touch with my feminine side. I feel more masculine. That literally makes no sense whatsoever, Ian Garry. It's like a woman going, I'm so in touch with my. It's like a woman saying, I'm so masculine that I'm actually more feminine. It makes no sense. It's okay to be in touch with your feminine side, Ian, if you want to be, alright? But let's not act like that makes you, like, more masculine. It literally makes you the opposite. They are complete opposites. You can't be one thing and then be the opposite of that thing at the same time. It's just, it's so gay. Oh, it's so stupid. Just stop talking, Ian Garry.
And I don't care what people think about me. I don't care about people's opinions of me or what I do. I love who I am, and I'm constantly trying to be a better human, a better person, a better father, a better husband, and a better fighter every day of my life. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not going the direction I see.
It's just funny, alright? So Ian claims to not care about what people say, and what people say about me don't hurt my feelings, guys. So why do you turn off your comments? Why turn them off? Like, if you don't care about what people say, why turn off your comments? Like, why turn them off then? If you're not bothered, I don't really get that. Like, yeah, listen, guys, I don't really care about what people say. Well, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna turn off all my comments. What the fuck, dude? It makes no sense. Like, you do care. That's why you turn them off. Like with the whole kissing the wall picture. You fucking cried about that and you turn the comments off. You're like, I'm going to turn the comments off. Like, you do care, bro. Like, fuck off. And now this is him going in on the Neil Magny thing. Alright, so that he doubles down on the whole Neil Magny situation. You know where he accused him of beating his kids because he made a made a joke about giving him an ass whooping like he was his child. That's what he was getting. He was basically saying that he's going to son you in the octagon, and you ran with it, and you said he said he beats his own kids, and then, by the way, that got used in his custody battle with his kids, and he almost lost them. You piece of shit, Ian Garry. All right. But anyway, let's listen. Last little bit now, boys. We're nearly there. I'm sorry. Look, this has been a serious video. This has been a super serious. We've got deep with this shit. But, you know, it's just how it is. And this is how I feel, man. So if you agree, stick around. If not, then there's the door, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Or just stay around anyway. We don't have to agree on anything. On everything. We can disagree on some things. Just don't be gay about it. You know what I mean?
If I can change anything in my life, I definitely don't want. I'm 28 years of age. I still remember the wooden spoon being smacked across my hands. Mm-hmm. I remember turning to my dad and going, it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm used to it. Turn it over. I should have kept your mouth shut, Ian.
Oh my god. We all got slapped as kids, Ian, alright? We all got like fucking hit as kids. Why is he saying it like, oh, I had such a traumatic childhood, I got beat with a wooden spoon? It's like, Ian, we've all been smacked in the face by our parents, bro. It's not a big deal. Fucking grow. He's like, I can't believe my parents would tap my hand with a wooden spoon. Like, fucking grow up, man. God damn. Who cares? Who cares, man? It's just, we've all had it done to us. Jesus.
I feel like what we learn from our generation, we need to make changes to be better. So Neil Magny decided that he was going to, at a UFC press conference, say, and it was a stupid sentence that he said. His idea was to try and say that he is going to beat me like he's beating a child.
That's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. He says there's certain ass whoopings that you give, and you give the ass whoopings in the cage, and there's some ass whoopings that you give, to your kid. Being a dad, I've become accustomed to those sorts of ass whoopings, and it's like Ian's like he's gonna beat me like he beats his kid. Like, no, it's an offhand comment about like disciplining your child, and he's saying that he's gonna discipline you like you're his child. He's taking it literally like, oh, what? He's just admitted to beating his own child. Like, he's so retarded.
But they were not his words. And his words dug deep under my skin. Because I had a little boy who couldn't have been much older than a year, if even.
I have two kids. I have a 2-year-old and I got a 9-month-old, right? Who gives a fuck if someone jokes about like giving you a bit of an ass whooping like you give a kid when they're being naughty? Who cares? We've all been slapped, all right? We've all been slapped as a kid, Ian. All right? I've got a kid and that really hit deep with me. I've got 2 kids. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
I don't even think Leo was 1, so I was fuming. And he said, there's 2 types of ass whoopings you give people in this world. There's the type of ass whooping you give people who talk about your mom at school. And then there's the type of ass whooping you give your kid. And being a father, I've got accustomed to giving that type of ass whooping. And I'm going to do that to Ian.
So what he's saying, Ian, is he's going to make you his son. He's going to father you in the octagon. Wow, that's what he was saying. And Ian's like taking it so literally of like, oh my god, he ass whoops his kid. He's so for someone that thinks he's so profound and clever, he's actually kind of retarded. He's actually kind of stupid, to be honest.
His child was 2. Now people spun that, and this is why I dislike American media. Nobody wanted to cover that.
Because it was an offhand joke, Ian. Was this guy in jokes like the fucking kiss the wall joke? He fucking cries about that, right? The fucking cook jokes, he cries about that. This joke, this offhand comment joke from Neil Magny, he cries about that. Can he not take like in the UK and Ireland? sarcasm is prevalent and jokes are prevalent. Like, you should be able to know, you should know that he's not like actually like beating his kids up, Ian. He's saying that he's gonna sun you in the octagon. That's what he was getting at, you fucking clown.
A masculine man, a fighter, a UFC fighter, an animal inside that cage. Just openly talk about how he beats his kid.
No, he's not. Oh my god, he's so dumb. These hosts are just there like, yeah, you're right, Ian. He admitted to beating his children live on television when he's going for a custody battle. Genius. Like, fucking hell.
Now, whether it was meant to be funny or satire commentary, they were not the words that came out of your mouth. So when you say that, and I think about that as a kid, and I think of my past and the fact that I was smacked with a wooden spoon as a kid to be disciplined and punished.
Oh no! Oh, when I think I was smacked when I was, dude, I got slapped in the face loads of times when I was a kid. I was a little shit. My mum used to slap me, bang bang. It does you no harm, Ian. It does you no harm. Unless you're getting like actually battered and abused. Like, this is what you're making out. You're making out like your parents used to abuse you when you were younger. And we'll get into his brother's comment afterwards, because he kind of, well, his supposed brother in the comments, but his comment got deleted 3 times. So maybe there's some truth to it. But like, this guy's trying to make out like he had such a rough upbringing, and it's just fucking clown shit, man.
And I think about my little boy who was asleep in the bed when I listened to this. I was livid. And I pulled him up on this. And we were at a press conference, and he didn't get a word out of his mouth. Did you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. I made you sit down, you shut your mouth, and you think about the words that came out of it. Because the last time a microphone was put in front of you, you said some outrageous things.
This is the most relaxed.
He's so retarded. It's unreal.
And that just annoyed me. And as a man, I felt like it was my due diligence to give him an ass whooping that maybe his kid couldn't give.
Oh, but guys, you can't be a strong man and beat people up. Ian, you've got to be soft and tender. Oh, what? This is toxic masculinity at its finest, guys. Going to fight someone? So toxic.
Him. But we have weight classes for a reason in this sport.
Yeah.
We have divisions in this sport that mean that I cannot go and fight a 70-kilo man because I'm bigger than that 70-kilo man. So why on earth should a man ever raise his hand to a kid?
No.
He thinks Neil Magny's going in there and fucking putting hands like, come on then, kid, bang, 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 like he's fucking boxing him. Like, no, he's probably giving him a little smack on the arse to be like, oi, cunt, calm yourself down. Like, he's like, this weight class is for a reason, and he's going in there and he's beating up his kid. Like, you're such an idiot. He's comparing him, right, moving down to lightweight, okay, to fight, I don't know, Paddy Pimblett, right? He's comparing that to Neil Magny disciplining his child, because it's definitely the same sort of violence. Ian, he's definitely going in there into the house and fucking giving him some low kicks and an uppercut. You fucking idiot.
You were totally morally in the right place, but I know that some people would think, you know what? I know it will also bring me heat. And the thing I mentioned about
what's morally right and what's morally wrong. There's a fine line, right? Should I beat my kid or talk about beating about my kid, or even just bringing a conversation up about beating a kid is morally incorrect? I couldn't let that go.
Listen, guys, you can't make offhand jokes about like treating a fighter in the octagon like your son. You can't do it. It's morally wrong, says Ian Garry. Jesus Christ.
So your message to those people that have an opinion about you?
I couldn't give a fuck.
He does, though, because he deletes comments all the time. He turns comments off on Instagram posts all the time. He does give a fuck.
I'm sorry I told you I wasn't going to swear on this. I couldn't care less for anyone's opinion.
You could.
Of me or my family.
You could.
Or what we're doing in our life choices.
You could.
Because you don't walk in my shoes.
But you turn off the comments whenever you get any, like, any sort of negative like feedback. You just turn the comments off. So you do care. Otherwise, you keep the comments on and you just let them keep rolling in. More engagement for you, right?
You are not in the position where you need to make these decisions. And the truth is, I think if a lot more people made the decisions that I made, they might be better humans.
And there's Ian Garry basically saying that he's the best person to ever live ever. He's the best person on planet Earth. And nothing he does is ever wrong. Interesting stuff. He's putting himself on a fucking pedestal here like he's literally Jesus Christ. Now we're going to look at Sean Garry. Apparently this is his brother. Now this isn't definitely his brother. We don't know if it definitely is for sure. Okay. Who knows? Well, we have this here. Ian, you're not a victim. You act like we were beaten as kids. We grew up in a middle-class house and had everything we ever wanted. You're the type of guy to take money off his parents and never pay them back. I think the world is entitled. We had everything a child could need. Oh no, you got to go to college. Your mother was stressed. You got flown all over the world with boxing, yet you talk about them not supporting you. Dad personally got involved in your boxing the whole time, even when he was sick and in chronic pain. Do me a favour and explain that one, Ian. By the way, Sean Garry, if you're watching this, by any chance, hit me up. And if you are his brother, let's chat, you know. We attended every one of your fights. We always believed that you could do it, but Layla, who you met when you were only a few fights away from the UFC, is suddenly the one that had faith. No way, really, you were already there. You're an avoidant person like me, but I've grown up emotionally unlike you. You hide from negativity because you can't cope with the reality of your own action. And he does this, again, an example of this is by turning off comments. He avoids the negativity because he can't handle it. Missing your granddad's funeral. Was that a real man's thing to do? Not even a text, lad. Am I missing something here? World run by Layla, more like... And then there's a link to an old interview. Funny, before you met her, you talked about family very differently. Or were you still too immature at 21? Funny that. Do me a favour, Ian. I've been so quiet about your situation because I feel bad for you. But if you even think about spreading this bullshit again, I will make the full truth clear in its entirety, and that's a promise. Do it with me! Do it with me! Sean Garry, do it with me. Please, come on the channel. I want proof that you're his brother, though. I need proof. Wait 10 years. Haha, you do realise we'll not be waiting for you in 10 years' time. You might want to think about that. My patience with you, Ian, has worn thin. I do hope you mature one day, Ian, but I'll be honest, I will not be waiting 10 years for you to grow up and admit your fault. Delete count 4. Talk about controlling the narrative. Delete it again, and I'm not going to hold back. And this one hasn't been deleted, so I guess they didn't want to risk it. But in a nutshell, Ian Garry, guys, insufferable, cook, simp, wants women to rule the world, thinks we're all like, everyone's just on an equal playing field here, ignoring the biological realities of men and women, and says that, being masculine is a toxic thing if you want to be strong and blah, blah, blah. It's just feminist talking points that are like, it's just cringe, and they don't actually apply to real world situations. Like, men need to be strong, and they need to be able to protect their family. If they're weak, then you're fucked. Like, if you're with a weak man who cowers at any sign of danger, you're fucked. You are fucked. You need to be strong. You need to be a leader, right? That's what you need to be as a man, in my opinion. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. My links are down below. Become a member, join the Discord. Until next time, I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.